start with this morning, surprise! We're going to start with, I want you to go ahead and give yourself a hug. So just hug yourself really tightly. And I want you to close your eyes and say to yourself, I love myself. Yes, say it out loud. I love myself. I care for myself. I care for myself. I love myself. I care for myself. I adore myself. Beautiful. Just take that in. I just want you to open your eyes and do you believe it? Not really. Not really, right, Michelle? It's too big. It's too big. Thank you for sharing. Yes, actually I did this service in Spanish. And I asked one of the ladies, did you feel that? Do you believe that? And she said, just a little bit, right? And I want to bring that to our attention because this is a way that we function in life. I'm just a little bit awesome. Right? So I just want to bring to our attention that we've been asleep, that we've been sleeping, and that we walk around forgetting who we are in truth. So the question is, how many of you badmouth yourself? How many? Thank you. It's time for compassion. How many of you think not very nice thoughts about yourself? The time has come for compassion. How many of you have judged someone or something in this past week? It's time for compassion. How many of you have been stuck in the past thinking about what Joe Schmo did to you? It's time for compassion. How many of you are thinking constantly, just tiki in Spanish, that's like just keep on thinking caca in your mind. Do you know what that is? I'm not going to say it, but you know what that is. The time has come for compassion. The time has come for compassion. And I was really called this morning to show up and share this message of we're so very hard on ourselves. And I want to bring that up. I want to bring that into this space. And happiness the foundation of happiness is compassion. So as you very much, most of you that have been following me know I wrote a book called Live Your Happy, and my teachings are based on happiness. So I get very excited about compassion because compassion, when we're compassionate, not only with ourselves but with others, we experience happiness because we come back to our true self, who we are in truth. And as I was thinking about the service yesterday, because for the past couple of years, I don't do much preparation anymore. I just really show up. I show up for everyone and I feel the dynamics of the energy and see what is needed in the moment. And I feel that right now there's a big call for love and a big call for understanding who we are in truth because we're asleep. And we have a war going on inside and we have to get really honest about that war. Right? You laugh because isn't it interesting? Like we're at war with ourselves. We're at war with the thoughts that we think and the thoughts that we think about others. It goes very deep and we have to recognize that we have a disassociation. We are like zombies. We are tranced out. It's like we have forgotten our source. We have forgotten our Father. So let's just get really honest about that. That we feel separate, that we feel that we're in the stream, and that we feel and we believe that our suffering is very real. But the message that Unity gives us, and that's why I love Unity Church so much, is that it's filled with affirmations and prayers for us to remember who we are again in truth. And one of the things that Unity teaches us, and that we've been taught, is affirmative prayer and affirmative action. And that's why I began with this exercise. right? So I want to begin by sharing a personal story about compassion, because I feel that one of the reasons I can stand here and talk about compassion is because I've implemented it and because I've been living it at a very deep level as the years have gone on, but especially the past few years. And the reason for that is because I became a mother. I became a mother 2 years ago. It's going to be 2 years in April. And not only that, I got married. A lot happened in my life, and many of you here in my Unity family know that I went very quick. You know, I got married, and then I got pregnant, I had a child. It was all very quick, right, Beverly? It was all a surprise. And I've had to learn self-compassion because my life changed so much in such a beautiful way. And I want you guys to identify it in your own way of when there's a big shift in your life and there's a call of love. Because if not, what happens? We just forget who we are and we get lost in whatever that icky thing is. So for me, it was coming into motherhood and coming into being a wife and being a speaker and teacher and healer. I had to start to learn balance. What happens is that I was feeling a little bit off and trying to understand what that even looked like. And feeling some days not like myself. I remember that I had to go talk at Unity in Miami, and I had to do a lot of workshops in Miami, just 6 months after I had my son, and I was breastfeeding. And I stepped my foot in Miami, and all these memories came because I was born there, my family's there. You know how our family triggers us a little bit. Hello. So when I got there, I remember I had to give this talk, and I remember just feeling like I was all over the place. I was about to speak about happiness and give an epic talk about happiness, a workshop about happiness, and I walked into this beautiful store. It's like a crystal store, and I was giving a workshop there. And I remember the girl came up to me, she said, "Hi Maria, how are you?" And she saw my face, and she said, "It's okay, you're a mother, you just became a mother. It's okay to be all over the place." And I was like, really? I can be all over the place? And that kind of showed me compassion for myself. It's like, allowing myself just to be all over the place, and that, you know what, I don't have it all together. And how many of you have felt like that? That you're all over the place and you don't have it all together. And we don't give ourselves the space to. What we do is we judge ourselves for being all over the place and not having it all together. So, wow, that's like a double sharp knife in our hearts. There's no compassion there. So instead of being and allowing myself to be all over the place and to not be, you know, happy out of 10, I was judging myself for that. Like, I can't feel this way, I have to feel good, I have to do this workshop. But the universe has a way of bringing angels into our lives. And that day, she was my angel. And she goes, go in the room, she gave me essential oils, she put on the candles, she put on the incense, and she says, you come out when you're ready. That is compassion. So I walk out to do the workshop, and I stand in front of everybody. And I said, hi everyone, I'm here to give a workshop on happiness. And I'm not feeling remotely happy right now. Actually, you know what? I'm all over the place. How about that? That is compassion. I was allowing myself to be. I wasn't judging myself. It was more like, this is the full expression of what I am now, and it's okay. And that is loving. And everybody there, I asked, do you feel like you're all over the place? And everybody waves their hand. And I go, good. We're going to get on this happy train together, and we're going to choo-choo out of here, and we're going to leave the ego at the station. The time has come. So that is a form of compassion. It's showing up authentically and loving yourself within those feelings, and that it's okay. And I'm not telling you need to be stuck there. But what happens is that when you feel them and you allow your emotions to come through, what happens is there is care, there is love, there's compassion. It's like a child. When a child is going through something, and he's having a fit, or in case my son is having a fit, or he's crying, I will grab him and comfort him and say everything is going to be all right. And we've forgotten to do this for ourselves. We have forgotten to do this with ourselves. So when we're having a tantrum, when we have forgotten who we are, and we're all over the place, and we're thinking all these thoughts of war, because it's a war. It's to remember our innocence and know that we are innocent regardless of what our mind is telling us. And we hold ourselves and we comfort those emotions and say, oh, I know, I'm scared. I'm scared because of X, Y, and Z, and this is okay. And you embrace and you comfort that part of you that is scared. And instead of avoiding it and watching TV or watching the news or talking to a friend or having a glass of wine or whatever that is for you, I invite you to comfort yourself and sit with your feelings. I always say you gotta feel it to heal it. And you embrace that. That is compassion. It's like a feeling. You feel, you embrace that part of you. And you love that part of you. It's not bad, it's not good, it just is. And then you bless your creations. You know, I feel that we have so many stories and we have so many dramas that we've made up. It's like we have created this amazing screenplays that we can actually win an Oscar. Yes or no? We could win an Oscar with these epic screenplays that we write. The title of the screenplay is, and you're really good at this one, I Am Not Enough. And then you go out and you show, you're writing a screenplay how you're not enough and how everybody in your life is witness and testimony to that you're not enough because they've done X and Y and Z to me. So what we do is that we bless those creations. It's like, wow, it's looking at it like an innocent child, and this is compassion. It's being like, wow, I'm an amazing screenwriter. I write these stories, and I make up these stories in my mind. Wow, I am amazing. I bless that creation. Oh my God, a couple months ago I forgot who I was and I was depressed. I bless that creation. You see, you bless it instead of feeling bad about it, instead of feeling guilty about it, that that's the way you felt. You felt the way you felt, it's gone. A sense of compassion is being present, and I know we hear this a lot, the power of presence, being present. But for real people, let's be present. Right? It's like to be really present and let go and know that while you're a great screenwriter and the past is what it was, you bless that creation. And the same for the future. It's like we're worried about something that's not even here yet. Wow, that is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Right? Isn't that a little bit like we're thinking about something that is not even here yet? You know, when I start worrying about something, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to worry about this because when it happens, I'll start worrying about it. And it usually never happens. Or by the time it comes, I have figured it out. Something, right? So, what I want to bring up to the table today at the service is to just recognize that part of ourselves that is lost. It's that part of ourselves, and the Course in Miracles calls it, we have the true self and we have the little self. It's like we continue to live in this little self, and we have to start to give compassion to that little self and start to nourish that little self in the way of, I understand you're scared, and remember what is really real. And in nourishing yourself and being compassionate with yourself, you start to wake up to your true self. But what happens is we want to skip that part. No, I don't want to feel. This is not good. I feel guilty. I'm thinking these horrible thoughts about myself. This is not good. And it's like we judge ourselves for judging ourselves. Isn't that crazy? So we need to start to recognize what we're doing. A couple weekends ago, I went up to Unity of Houston to lead a big women's self-love workshop, and it was from 10 to 4. In Houston, Unity of Houston, yeah, from 10 to, it was a whole day thing, and they flew me over there, and 2 days before I was gonna go, I had to start my compassion work. Why? Because I started to feel a little bit off again. Like I woke up in the morning, how many of you just wake up and you're like, I don't know. It's like when you have your ponytail upside down, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not feeling too good today, right? It's kind of like that feeling. And I was thinking, wow, I have to give this self-love workshop, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not, ever since I had Ari, I go through like these emotions. I'm trying to figure things out right now. It's like I'm trying to balance, and sometimes I have felt the feelings of postpartum depression as well. It's like it comes in and out. So I remember feeling that way, and I remember putting compassion into the mix there. I was like, what do I feel to do? Like, why am I feeling like this? Okay, well, I'm feeling like I'm not capable. It's like too much. You know, I have to fill my luggage. I have to get the camera. It was like I was feeling a little overwhelmed by these like tedious things. You guys get me? It's like, it's ridiculous. It's like these little things, but still they feel like it's a lot. So I said to myself, you know what? gonna go outside and I'm gonna walk. And I do something that's called mindful walking. And it's like basically when I'm walking, instead of not just walking, I don't think. It's more like, I am home, I am home, I am home. And I'm just saying again, as I'm walking, I am home, I'm home, I'm home. And when I'm saying I am home, it's like, I am home means I'm safe, I'm in God, I am protected by God. It's like, I'm in my truth here. Like nothing else exists, there's no problems, I'm home. Because I'm in the present moment. There's nothing going on but this moment. I'm home. So then I get really excited because then I put like 5 things in my luggage. And that felt like a big deal, you know? It's like, okay, these 5 things are in my luggage. That's good. Good, Maria. That's compassion. You see, I'm not beating myself up. Like, why am I not feeling good? I should be excited. I'm going to go do a self-love workshop in Unity of Houston. This is like a huge opportunity. I should be so excited about it. And judging myself because I'm not excited about it, but then I'm like, it's okay. Not judging myself is the compassion, you see? And then I went on to the Unity of Houston, and I was able to bring that kind of sadness or melancholy feeling that I was having to the self-love workshop, of where it was very deep healing for every single woman there, because it was so genuine, it was so authentic. But I've learned to just have compassion for myself. And it's an everyday work, but I have a big willingness to continue to do it every day, step by step. So if you were to go ahead, and you would go ahead and let go of all your stories. So let's say, like, just to pretend that there's no stories, right? So there's no stories of anything in your mind. It's just like a blank mind. It's like nothing existed in the past that anybody's hurt you. Any story you might be thinking that anybody's doing anything to you now or anything in the future, it's like all the stories are gone. Like right now, nothing exists but what? This moment. Let's pretend, right? So we close our eyes and we hug ourselves. And there's no stories. Let's just pretend there's no stories. Like you're innocent and you're an innocent child of God and you're just sitting here and nothing exists from only this moment. You don't believe your story, you're just sitting here. Nothing else exists. Just pretend. Let's do it like just visualize playtime. Like nothing else exists. And all together we say out loud, I love myself.
I love myself.
I adore myself.
I adore myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I adore myself.
I adore myself.
I love myself. I adore myself. I love myself. I adore myself. Just take a deep breath in that space. Let go. You may open your eyes. Did it feel a little different? Did it feel a little different to you, Barbara? I feel that when we start to let go of our stories, we can let in and the recognition that this is true. Right? So what we need to do is start to turn down the volume on that part of our mind that doesn't serve us. And it's our divine right to do so. It's our inheritance. It's our function to be able to say, you know what? I'm committed to living my life at my highest potential, and I am so willing to continue to let go of this false story about myself, these false thoughts, these thoughts that are just filled with pain and attack. I am done with attacking myself. I am done with the war. The time has come for compassion. There's been so much war within our minds since we were little kids and we started to morph into these bodies, this like kind of morphed into this limited self-concept of ourselves, that we need to begin to peel away this little self and start to show up in the world in a whole new way, and in truth knowing who you are. And we do this through constant compassion. When we forget, we remember again. When we forget, we remember again. When we forget, we remember again. We're like little children. We wonder what today will hold. I know that my commitment is compassion. So what I want to leave you with, because I love to leave you with something with tangible and to practice, is I highly suggest you get your booklet for Lent. Lent started on Wednesday, and Ash Wednesday, and it's going to go through Easter. And it's 40 days, and then there's 6 Sundays. And this is such a beautiful time of spiritual preparation. So every day you can dedicate your time to doing introspective work and praying and affirming and doing something that lights up your spirituality, whatever that is for you. So let's say one day you choose to go to the park, or one day you just choose to, maybe today I'll do a 15-minute meditation, but every day you choose something that is compassionate. Every day you choose to do something that is aligned to turning up the volume on your true self, because we lower the volume on the little self, right? So today we've literally, let's all pretend, let's not pretend, let's believe it, that we've turned down the volume on the false self today. Like, that's it, cállate, shut up, I'm done with you, right? So let's lower the volume, and we come out these doors today, we do our spiritual practice with Lent, and every day you read from the booklet. You have a beautiful message that Unity ministers, and it comes from books, different messages from the books that they have, and it has an affirmation. You also have a book by Charles Fillmore, which I recommend throughout Lent, that I do every year. It's called Keep a True Lent. I use that book as well. So what I do is I have a notepad, and every day I journal my Lent exercises. So day 1 is all about courage for me, and today the day was about compassion. Right? Because we're going over compassion. So you write every day, and I don't write that much. It's just something very little just to write to remember. So this Lenten season is a beautiful time, and I always use this. It's like going to the gym. It's like, you know how you do your 21-day meditation exercise, or you do 21-day, detox, or anything you want to do, a 21 diet. I invite you to do a 46-day. Now we're already through, I think, day 5 or something. Right? I'm not sure. I think, yeah. So, to these days that are left for Lent, I invite you to do these exercises and to do, 40-something days of remembering who you are in truth and that you are amazing. That's what you want to do, that you're amazing. So I want you all to say, I'm so amazing I can't take it. Go ahead. I mean, seriously, I'm so amazing I can't take it. It's just too much. Actually, now that we've turned on the volume on the ego business, it's like, I'm so amazing, I can't take it. I can't take it. All right, everyone, let's close our eyes as we go into prayer. So grateful and thankful for this moment. Can I have a little melody, by the way? A little melody on the piano? Thank you. Just to have a little bit of umph there. All right, let's close our eyes and take a deep breath here. I invite you to put your hand on your heart. And right now, we just recognize that we've turned down the volume on our limited self. Perhaps you feel the feeling, or you just see yourself as you turn down the volume on the radio, or whatever that is, as an expression of turning down the volume on that limited part of your mind that no longer is serving you, that has kept you prisoner. And then we go within as we start to join in the truth of who we are in God, and remember who we are in truth. That we are love, that we adore ourselves, that we care for ourselves, that we love ourselves, and know that we're doing the very best we can, and that everything is going to be all right. We go even deeper, and deeper, and deeper, with the expression of coming home, and knowing that we are home now. Every moment we choose heaven, we're home.